Number 6, aka the worst Vanguard in the game. I think there's not really much debate to this unit. So yeah, number 6, we got Diablo. Yeah, I don't think there's much to say about this unit being the worst Vanguard in the game. I guess I'll have some footage of him here. Regardless, yeah, this is him maxed out. He's doing like 100k-ish with Monarch. Yeah, his damage is not really good per se, and these are the passives that he currently have. The Court of the King, he gains more damage if there's a boss. It's only 15% though, so it's not that good. Epitaph of Tomorrow, 100% chance to dodge, which is actually a pretty insane passive. And he also performs a counter attack that deals 50% of this unit's damage with a 10-second cooldown. But honestly, 50% of this unit's damage, that's basically tickling the boss, okay? And lastly, Complete Erasure. He has this ability called Complete Erasure. It counterattacks during the ability, and it deals like 50% more damage. And when this ability ends, all enemies are slowed by 50 seconds, which makes him, I guess, a pretty decent support. But yeah, compared to like all the other Vanguard units, bro, this one is just hot trash. I don't see anyone using this guy unless what? No, never mind, bro. No one uses this guy, bro. What am I saying, bro? Okay, with that, we move on to number 5. At number 5, we got my glorious king and the guy that should have won the Vanguard familiar poll, Gogeta SSJ4. Yeah, man, this guy has completely fallen off, I believe, right now. He is still a pretty decent unit, and I'm not gonna lie, I still use this guy, bro. I know y'all say he'd fallen off, but I still use him personally because, you know, I have Monarch on him and he has infinite range and just a cheap, good starter unit. Here are his passives. His passives is kind of annoying, especially the first one here, Gotcha. He has a 10% chance every attack to not attack. Bro, what is this passive, bro? If he does not attack, he slows the enemies and raises damage by 5% up to 50%. But bro, 10% chance to not attack is kind of annoying still. But his second passive, on the other hand, though, the Monkey King. This passive is pretty insane. Anytime this unit attacks, a clone will appear mirroring the last attack this unit made. This basically makes it so that he attacks 2 times every time he attacks. And finally, his last passive, Instant Teleportation. Yeah, this is the passive that makes him have infinite range, essentially. You can like teleport him anywhere in the map, and yeah, this is what makes him kind of good in my opinion. Damage wise, with Monarch, bro, he's still pretty good. You know, he does like 200 something k and he attacks 2 times. So yeah, remember to just double his damage here, so he's doing like 400k every like what 6 or 7 seconds. Yeah, so yeah, overall he's still kind of usable as an early game unit. I guess another downside this unit has is the fact that he's very expensive to upgrade all the way. So yeah, there's that. Yeah, overall kind of in a bad spot right now, but still better than Diablo. All right, with that, move on to number 4. At number 4, we got the hardest godly to obtain, knowingly because of the clear 50 end rage stages. We got my aura farming king, Jinwoo. Yes, sir. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie, bro, this guy is probably still very good as of today. And yeah, he has a bunch of things in his kit that we'll go through right here. Boom. These are his passives. The army supply, this basically makes it so that he can summon things, alright? There's a bunch of things you can summon, bears, Beru, the iron tank, and yeah, these summons are pretty insane, bro. They have like a lot of HP. Whenever mana is lost, you also gain damage, which is just absurd. And he has another passive called the General over here. When an ally summon dies in this unit's range, he increases damage by 5% up to 50%. However, after the unit attacks, it resets the damage. And if there are no summons on the field, he gains 20% range and 30% damage, which is nuts. He has another passive called the Monarch. Summon gain additional health based on the percentage of mana remaining after their summoning. So yeah, a pretty absurd unit. Not only that, he's immune to every status effect because he's of the unknown element. And lastly, bro, I think the best part of his kit is his nukes. He has 3 different nukes that you're able to use, which is pretty crazy. I mean, they're not the best nukes per se. They're like decent. They can do up to like 2 to 3 million damage, but it's the fact you can use it 3 times, bro, and this is very, very helpful since you can use one in the early game, another one in the mid game, and the big nuke at the end game. All right, and yeah, he also does pretty decent damage. Here are his like stats, I guess at like max level and all. It's not bad. DPS is not too crazy, but he gets hard carried by his kit, which is his summons, his nukes, and his immune status elements. All right, so yeah, that is Jinwoo, bro. He's still pretty good, but not the best Vanguard in my opinion. All right, so yeah, with that, we move on to number 3. Okay, at number 3, we have the human that stands above all races, my glorious king, Escanor. Yes, sir. So yeah, with Escanor, I'm just gonna start off with his passive first here. Yeah, this guy is broken. Alright, here are his passives, bro. The one above all. On the pre-match screen, you can burn units, or you can just use him only in your slot. And when you use him alone, this unit literally upgrades itself every wave and becomes free to place. This is crazy, alright? I'm not gonna lie, guys. Escanor right now might just be my most used unit because of how easy it is to use him, bro. He upgrades himself. You don't even have to play the game. You place him down, he plays the game for you, bruh. And his other passives, High Noon. For every wave that passes, this unit gains 1 hour stack. For every hour stack, this unit gains 15% damage and 1.5% range. At 12 stacks, this unit gains 30% damage and all enemies in range get inflicted with burn. For 2% of this unit's damage for 5 seconds, every second. Upon hitting 12 stacks, every wave lowers stack count by 1. Yeah, this is crazy as well. Another broken passive meant for the big DPS. And lastly, Sunshine. This passive is insane too. Attacks inflict burn for 30% of this unit's damage for 5 seconds. And if an enemy leaves this unit's range, this unit will inflict that enemy with a burn for 100% of this unit's damage for 5 seconds. Bro, what more do you want from this unit, bro? And anytime this unit inflicts burns on an enemy, cleanses all buffs and status effects from self, meaning he is unable to get debuffed. Yeah, this unit is probably the best unit if you use it alone. All right, for soloing content, this unit is the one. Alright, but there are some downsides to this unit, and that downside is the fact that most of the time you're only gonna use this unit alone with himself only. And another weakness is, let me just show a picture of it. Yeah, I think most of you who have Escanor know that, yeah, shields are a pretty big weakness for my king here. But other than that, bro, he's perfect. He has a nuke that you can use 1 time per match. And lastly, he has an ability which is called the One Ultimate or something. Yeah, when you pop this ability, he just becomes an insane maniac. Okay, he just becomes the GOAT. He just becomes the glorious King Escanor, and he just has over 1 million damage. Alright, this might be the only unit that is able to reach 1 million plus damage. Okay, one of the greatest units in the game. But yeah, so yeah, with that, we move on to the top 2. Okay, at number 2, and I'm not gonna lie, guys, number 1 and number 2 are interchangeable. It just depends on how you view it, alright? So yeah, number 2, we got the legendary Super Saiyan. Yes, Broly, bro. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. In terms of DPS, I can guarantee you that Broly is currently number 1 DPS, alright? DPS wise, this guy is number 1. And here are his passives. Quick Learner. It basically makes it so that if he has more than 100% crit rate, he gets more crit damage. When you place him down, he gets 50% crit rate on placement, but then it loses it on the first upgrade. Now, Unrestrained Power and Innocent Rage. I would like to talk about both of these passives at once, since they're both low-key similar, I guess. Unrestrained Power. Anytime this unit crits, he does attack 3 and buffs own damage by 50%. And in Innocent Rage, if this unit attacks an enemy and does not crit, follows up with attack 1 and buffs damage by 50%. So if you guys don't know what this means, alright, with Unrestrained Power, if this unit crits, it does attack 3. Attack 3 is a full AoE. Alright, so what this means is, if he crits, he does a full AoE attack, meaning he attacks twice. But it don't matter. Even if he doesn't crit, he will follow up with an attack 1 instead, which is just a normal attack and it's not a full AoE. Okay, so with these passives alone, it doubles his damage output. Alright, in Unrestrained Power, he also does Rupture if he crits, which is nuts. And in Innocent Rage, when he crits, it reduces the cost of the next upgrade by 2% up to 30%, which is also very insane. But yeah, those are his passives, and this is his ability, which is probably one of the most broken abilities in the game. Okay, when this ability is active, he gains 20% crit rate per wave for all units that by default have the Unbound unit up to 100%. So yes, this means that if you have Guts equipped and you pop this ability, your Guts can get 100% crit rate. Bro, what? And after 7 waves, said units start gaining 10% crit damage per wave. Yeah, this is probably the best support ability for Unbound units by far, right? It is literally too broken. Yeah, this is Broly, bro. Very insane DPS unit. The only downsides that I have with this unit is the fact that he is pretty expensive to max out. Alright, one of the most expensive units to max out. And I guess another thing is it's overkill. His damage is literally overkill. It is too much. As of now, it is way too much. Okay, you don't need all this damage. Alright, it's way too much. And yeah, that is it with Broly, bro. Now we move on to number 1. And you probably know who it is already, alright? And number 1, yeah. Yeah, Kaguya, man. I mean, bro, this unit is probably my biggest regret in anime Vanguards, because, yeah, I'm not biased, bro. I do not have her, okay? I do not have this unit, but, bro, I wish I had taken the time to grind to get this unit, as when she was on banner, I was too busy playing ALS. Alright? But yeah, this unit just literally does everything. Alright? She is, I guess, perfect. I genuinely think that she's a perfect unit. These are her passives. I haven't used her at all, so I don't really know much. But the first one's a buff. The second one is insane. God of Shinobi. It makes it so that she teleports to the first enemy when she's in the domain. But yeah, the gist of it is she has infinite range, basically, with this second passive. And the final passive, Elemental Affinity. She is counted as each element in the team. So yeah, if you have Jinwoo in a team with her, she is also immune to status effects, basically. Alright, just overall, just perfect unit, bro. She has the domains, just like Broly. And I'm not gonna read all of these domains to you, but just know that all three are very broken. And yeah, unlike Broly, she can keep on spamming these domains, you know. So yeah, that's why I think she's better. She can keep on using her domains, whereas Broly can only use his like domain once. Top it all off, she has decent DPS, and she also has 1000% damage, a full map nuke, bro. Not even in range, a full map nuke, the strongest nuke in the game right now, I believe. So yeah, she is what I believe a unit that will forever be meta, bro. I can never see her falling off, and she's the embodiment of perfect. And yeah, I wish I had gotten her, bro. Hey, if trading comes out, hey, one of y'all got me with a Kaguya, right? Hey, please. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, bro. Do keep in mind that if you disagree with me, bro, it's okay, man. This is just my opinion. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, man. Like, comment, subscribe, and peace.